What is going on, guys? So today I'm going to talk to you about how there are a lot of people in the military, Army specifically, that have no clue what they're talking about. So this is going to be one of those videos where I kind of just give you guys some advice, right? So if you are a new soldier, a future soldier, this video is definitely going to be for you. If you plan on joining the military in general, this is going to be the video for you for sure. Definitely something to keep in mind whenever you're navigating your military career. After being in the military for a little while now, I have noticed that there are a lot of people out there that will basically spread a bunch of false information. They may tell you something as fact whenever it may just be like a personal experience. And I know as far as me and this channel, if it's just a personal experience thing, I try to tell you guys, hey, this is just a personal experience. But if it's a fact, then I want to make sure I distinguish between those two things. But then there's gonna be some people in the military, like if you go to them, if you ask them something, they may tell you something as fact, or they may tell you something can't be done, or whatever it is. Like maybe they're putting a roadblock there in front of you and you're just a little private and you're like, oh gosh, I can't do this thing, when in reality you can, and that person just doesn't know what they're talking about. Now this is where some people who join the military, they really just like learning the regulations and standards and things like that, and that honestly will help you out a lot. I'm not one of those people that likes to just sit down and read Army regulations and memorize them and then bring them up at a later date when somebody tells me something. That's not something that I enjoy doing. There's definitely a lot of people out there that like doing that, and it'll also help you out sometimes, especially if you get in a situation where you have an NCO telling you something and you know the specific regulation on which they're wrong. If you want to tell them that, you know, go for it. We'll see how that turns out for you. It could be good. It could be good. There are some NCOs out there that just hate it, even if they know they're wrong. They just hate it if you correct them or whatever, even though that's technically the wrong attitude and that's a bad NCO for feeling that way. But anyway, so there's basically some people out there, whether they're in a position of authority based on rank or a position of authority based on just their position in general, they're gonna be in charge of so many people. You might have a squad leader, a platoon sergeant, something like that. And then throughout your career, you may be asking the questions, can I do this, can I do this, can I do this? And a lot of the time you're gonna hear no, wait, no, we'll see about that, whatever. And honestly, that's kind of just like the cop-out answer if they don't know the answer to the question. Because as I've said before in some previous videos, obviously I don't think this one's gotten a lot of views because these videos where I just talk about, you know, advice seem to just not get a lot of views. But basically, there are ways around certain regulations. You know, different units can kind of work together to, like, for example, get like an airborne slot. If your unit doesn't have an airborne slot, even though it doesn't have an airborne slot, you might be able to get one from another unit that has a whole bunch of extra airborne slots. So that is a workaround that is definitely possible, but it really just comes down to whoever is in that leadership position. Are they going to be willing to help you out, or are they just going to say no? That's also a situation that I just mentioned where you're not going to really be able to press them too hard. So one of my biggest pieces of advice is whenever you first join the military, when you first get to your unit, always try to start out on the right foot. Like do good on your PT test. You know, don't suck up to your commander and platoon sergeant or whatever, but they definitely, in my opinion, need to know who you are. If you are at basic training in AIT, it's not that big of a deal if the platoon sergeants, the drill sergeants don't know who you are. That's not gonna matter whatsoever. But whenever it comes to you going to your actual unit, if your commander knows who you are, that's going to be a good thing, because they're going to be the one 9 times out of 10 signing your paperwork. If you need orders to go somewhere, get promoted early, whatever, your commander's going to have to sign off on that. And so if they know of you as a good soldier, that's going to go a really long ways. And if they know of you as a bad soldier, that's not going to take you very far at all. Now, the reason that I bring up your commander and first sergeant and kind of having them know who you are is because you don't want to be like buddy friends with them, but you definitely want to be like acquainted with them enough if you have an issue that you can talk to them. You don't want to be jumping the chain of command if you have a squad leader who keeps telling you no, and you know maybe you've looked it up and you know he's wrong, but you know he won't bring it up the chain of command. Then that's a different story. Maybe you could then talk to the platoon sergeant or whatever. But basically, those things will happen in the military, and you just gotta understand. And sometimes those people, they're saying no because they don't know, they don't understand how some of the things work, because like some of these people that I'm referring to, maybe E4s, E5s, E6s, and whereas they've been in the military for a long time, there's also a lot of freaking stuff in the military. There's a lot of things to know, and there's a lot of things that you do not know, like a lot of things that you don't know. And some people, if they don't know, they say no. So the big point for this video is, number one, make sure you're at least acquainted with your higher ups in your unit, whether you're at a battalion level, brigade level, company level, whatever. Make sure they know who you are, whether it's just because, hey, this person's got a 300 on their PT test. That's gonna go a long way. I've talked about it before. Like, if you have a good PT score, it looks good on you. If you're failing your PT test, it does not look good on you. If you are that helper who like says, hey, you know, is there anything that I can help with? And, you know, I'm not doing anything right now. You know, do that, because number one, it'll help time go by faster. And then number two, it just looks good, because then that higher up is gonna know of you as like a go-getter soldier that wants to better themselves. And so if there's a situation in your career where you have somebody telling you no when you need it, it's time sensitive, or you know the answer is yes, but they won't pass it up the chain of command, then it's a lot easier for you to actually get things approved faster, to get paperwork pushed faster, to be able to just go to somebody more directly. And you can always also just ask for somebody's phone number directly. Kind of like the inspiration behind this video is a video, or not a video, an experience I very recently just had with my brother, who's had some people telling him things that they're saying that are not the case when they definitely are the case. And so I'm trying to tell my brother to basically get the phone number or whoever, the contact of the person directly who has the yes no answer, because doing these little workarounds and saying no, it's such a pain in the butt. So make sure you actually get to know people in your unit. Don't be scared, like especially when you first get to your unit, to really go around and say, hey, introduce yourself, things like that, because that's like your one real chance to just really easily go and do that, because you're like, hey, I'm new to the unit, blah 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 blah. That's a great way to introduce yourself. So just make sure that you keep some of the stuff that I said in this video in mind as you navigate your military career, because it's going to be a lot easier on you if you do that. If you sometimes don't take no for an answer and you kind of keep pushing, if you kind of do your actual research, if somebody says no, then you actually research it, see what the regulations say. If the regulations are correct, you can literally say, hey, here's the regulations, just look at them, you know, like that's something that you can definitely do, and that will help you out a lot. So keep that stuff in mind. But that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, that would be awesome. If you just check out some more of my videos, hit that subscribe button, that would be even better. Follow me on Instagram and Snapchat if you haven't already. Pick up some merch in the merch store if you haven't already with code WARD10. That's something I should probably be mentioning more. Use code WARD10 to get 10% off at all times on the store. Link is down in the description down below. Hope you guys have an amazing freaking day, and I will see y'all later.